And I want to start this bit by getting everyone in the comments with a quick yes or no. Are Leicester City staying up?
Who is your focus this week on, Matt?
Difficult decision to make this week, Ben, because like I say, there's some real standout results. I do want to pick up on Nottingham Forest last night, by the way. What a win against Palace. It puts them up to 8th, by the way.
Sensational.
Yeah, but we've touched on Forest a couple times, so let's move to another team in the East Midlands. And I want to start this bit by getting everyone in the comments with a quick yes or no. Are Leicester City staying up? Because I wonder, after the last two results, if some people, including myself, might have changed our minds. Because, Ben, obviously we focus on the relegation sandwich. We like looking at it and working out who might be involved. And one thing I think we've both said over the previous weeks is any team that gets a win, and in particular back-to-back wins, will go zooming up the table. And just look where they are in the table now. There's a gap forming between that bottom four and the teams above them. So it's really interesting down at the bottom here. I'm sure it'll change. It's still early in the season, but let's talk about Leicester and give them credit, because it was the manner of that victory at Southampton as well, Ben. These games, we had Southampton, Leicester, we had Ipswich, Everton. As a neutral, I'm thinking, I don't want draws, I want some spicy results. Obviously, we can come on to Ipswich later, where they didn't even manage a draw. But
mate, I think I would have taken draws given what's actually happened.
Yeah, in hindsight, yeah, I agree. But that Leicester City scoreline was unbelievable, wasn't it? Because you're looking at how the game's playing out. Southampton go 2-0 up. They're actually playing some good stuff. And you're thinking to yourself, right, they are finally going to get moving. And this, I don't want to say it's all over just yet, but this did feel a bit do or die for Southampton. You felt like both needed to win, but the pressure was certainly more on Southampton to win as the home team and as the team that hadn't won yet. So for Leicester to go out and come back, and not just come back to level it up, but to go on and snatch it. I know towards the end they were playing 10 men, shows what this team could be about this season. And, you know, to put two wins together, they, like I say, they've gone zooming up the table. There's quite a few things that are making me look at Leicester City now and think, I think they've got a real chance of staying up. Obviously, they're the best performing of the newly promoted teams from the Championship in terms of the table and the
by
results.
a mile as well.
Yeah, yeah, because they're up to, is it 9 points we're looking at now for Leicester City?
So they've gone over I'm sure you're about to mention it, they've gone over the point per game. It's nine points from 8 games, which is over double what Ipswich have got, and obviously 9 times what Southampton have got.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Because so we've got Southampton next week. They're playing Man City, so you struggle to see them making a move next week. So that win for Leicester was so significant. Obviously, we'll touch on Southampton later, where it is a disaster. But yeah, like I say, there's a couple of things now where I'm looking at Leicester City and thinking, wow, okay, so they're not getting a points deduction. That was one of the factors why we probably thought they might go down. Steve Cooper has really proven his worth. I know there was some criticism from Leicester fans and some Forest fans, not all of the Forest fans, but some of them were saying, I don't know if he's the right fit for Leicester. But honestly, I'm really glad that it is working out for him. And like I say, he's doing so well and proving some of the doubters wrong. I think some of the criticisms were that he's very defensive, doesn't go out and attack a game much. But as you can see by this scoreline here, they're scoring goals. But also, Ben, we mentioned last time when they beat Bournemouth, they kept a clean sheet in that game. And any team down at the bottom that can keep a clean sheet, that is massive. And you've still got the likes of Jamie Vardy, who even at his age will still pop up with goals. And if you're scoring 3 away from home, you've got every chance of winning the game. So very impressed with Leicester City. And it helps that at the same time they're doing that, 3 or 4 teams at the bottom are still not moving.
Yeah, and I've got to say, take a bow, Stevie Cooper, because it's a bit old-fashioned now, Matt, having what I would call a tweaky manager who, you know, moves the chess pieces around in the games rather than just is focused on their process and their patterns of play, which a lot of managers are. Stevie Cooper is like that. And when you think about, I think of this like a prison movie, an escape from prison movie, where someone is going to make a sprint for the fence first. And it's Leicester, isn't it? And back-to-back wins. And it's all about taking your chances when you get them. And we'll speak about Southampton and Ipswich later, but I've been at 2 games where Ipswich have been in the games at home playing well, where you think, oh, just win one of those games, against Villa. I know we're talking about Villa, but against Fulham as well, you think win the game. And both of these games that Leicester have won, they could have drawn or lost those games when you look at the numbers fairly easy. I have a very unfair advantage on this one, Matt, because you may have noticed the co-commentator on this game was Sam Parkin, who sent me a lovely voice note summing up the whole thing. We talk about Southampton. Apparently, they weren't that bad, and there's a big penalty call as well. So I'm not calling Leicester lucky because that's just insulting. What I'm saying about Leicester is in situations where it could go left and it could go right, and right is 3 points and being 14th in the table, they've gone right twice. So you've got to say fair play, Leicester. And Matt, as you framed it, and you can have the final word here, with the snail racing at the top, I was joking on the Blue Monday podcast, that's Leicester sorted for the next 4 or 5 weeks. They're just probably not going to be in the bottom 3, even if they lose all their games going forward. Back-to-back wins, massive, Matt. Have the final word. Well played, Leicester.
Yeah, sometimes it's fine margins, and turning a draw into a win is massive because, like you said, they're above a point per game, but we don't even think you need a point per game to survive. You're probably looking at 35. It could be even lower this season. Who knows? So that ability to turn a draw into a win is massive. If you do the maths, how many wins do Leicester City need this season? Possibly 9. So they've ticked off 2 in a row here. Obviously, that's 9, takes you up to 27. Sprinkle on 8 draws, and that's 35 points. That's my maths there. But like you say, with the teams moving so slow at the bottom, Leicester City have given themselves respite. But if they can continue this, they could really be like stretching their legs. I mean, obviously, some people will be quick to say if 2 of the teams in the bottom 4 win next week and Leicester lose, the gap closes a bit. But if it goes the other way and Leicester win and those bottom 4 don't move, they could be out of sight soon. I do want to say, Ben, really looking forward to Friday. Leicester versus Forest. Steve Cooper versus Nottingham Forest. I'm not sure how to call that. I mean, I suppose Forest higher in the table. They've had the better start, been good away from home. But Leicester City moving along nicely now. And like I say, with that win, with the manner of the win, with the 98th minute goal, they'll come into this with real positivity and maybe some momentum to take something against Forest. So, yeah, well done, Leicester City. And right now, I think you've got every chance of staying up.
I'll just say one more thing, and it's a doomsday scenario for me because the game after Forest for Leicester go to Ipswich, and they will be thinking, even if they draw that game, I know, look, if they win that game, they're going to be thinking, right, you've gone away to Southampton, tick that off. You now have a home game against them. You're stacking up your 9 wins or your 8 wins or your 10 wins, whatever it is. They can do the same at Portman Road. I know this one's circled on both clubs' calendars, isn't it? But if they can do the same, then you're almost writing the obituaries for the other teams already, aren't you? So, yeah. Fair play, Leicester. They are Matt's moment this week. We will clip that out and that will go down Matt's channel. So I will say, if you're watching over there, do come over to the Benjamin Bloom Football channel over here and check out the whole of the Premier League Check-In podcast.